Greetings everyone and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be looking at JP News, but before we get into JP News, I'd like to ask a question to you, dear viewer. So don't skip, don't reach for that. Don't reach for the YouTube thing until I'm done. I want to know about an RPG this week. This week, Metaphor ReFantazio is coming out for the PlayStation 5 as well as some other systems too. And I'm curious about your thoughts on it. As like JRPG, SRPG players, what are your thoughts on the game? Are you interested in it? Did you play the demo? Are you just going in completely blind? Tell me in the comments below, because like this week in Wotv is not that exciting. And as such, I'm going to put something else out there that I'm curious about. I really want to know, because personally, after playing the demo, I'm split on it. For everything I like about the game, there's something I dislike about the game. I mean, obviously, I like Persona 5 a lot, but at this point, like, Metaphor is such a weird game, and I'm curious if anybody else thinks it. Like, it's the prettiest PS3 game on the PS5, which isn't completely fair, but if it runs at 60 FPS, I don't know, maybe. Like, there's another video I recorded about this that I might update or upload, but just for viewers here. But anyway, if you want to chime in and let me know what your thoughts are on Metaphor, if you're getting it or not, if you're excited about it or not, if you think it's going to be Game of the Year or not, please feel free to in the comments below. All right, 2 minutes out of the way, getting close to that 10. So let's talk about what's going on this week on JP. Obviously, the big thing is the Dark Golem raid, which is essentially just another wind circle something, where basically wind units are going to have a field day, and anybody else who doesn't have a wind unit, well, I guess you're just going to have to try and do the best you can with the wind characters you do have, not the new ones, which will do very well. Not that this is that difficult, but still. Yeah, Dark Golem is essentially what we are looking at for this week. But that's not all. A little bit of a hint there. So Soul is getting his upgrade this week. Given that fire is incredibly prominent on JP still to this day, I'm interested to see whether or not this makes any kind of a difference. I feel like fire units have gotten so much better recently that just giving Soul like a Master Quest 2 probably won't move the needle too much. That being said, there are still plenty of people who are using him anyway. Also, Spec will get his Master Quest 2, but this is pretty much a nothing week in terms of content, such as it is. Now, what is more interesting is these couple of things. So first off, let's start with this. This is a new vision card where we can see Reviz is poisoning a young child, which feels a little dark for a VC, but artwork, but you know, if it gets there, I guess it gets there. So here are the notes for it. Equipped for party limited abilities of the Sword Knight group, Spears, Ninja Sword, and last but not least, Katana. And for the party equipped with this, initial AP increase, as well as increased for acquired AP, and maxing out the VC will give you AP consumption up, with quests only having damage limit up. For people who are curious, this VC is just like a quest VC. It's a mid-tier VC that you can get from the raid and upgrade it quite easily. It's basically just, you know, something that you are going to use in PvE stuff, and that is totally fine. And, you know, Knight Sword, Ninja Sword, Katana, there's probably enough synergy in some elements that they'll be quite happy with that. And the major theme of AP and damage limit up wouldn't go amiss. I think it's fine for what it is. Granted effect, critical damage up, Vision Mastery, Wind Attribute attack, and Lightning Attribute attack. So guess that's the combination that we are looking here, which kind of makes sense given the characters on the artwork. But that's not all. We do have another Esper, and this time not a CG Esper. So for anybody who was hoping this was a CG Esper, doesn't appear to be. If it is, then they didn't advertise it properly. So whoops. And continuing on the annoying trend of this year, it's another Katana VC. Okay, so let's get back to it, Umber. Sword, including Sword Knight group, is what this will be, plus bow, katana, and staff, Black Mage. So yeah, this is going to be for a very, very specific type of character, but yeah, continuing on the trend this year of more and more katana-based vision cards, we have increased resistance to single target attacks, as well as increased critical evasion on the VC. Maxing out the VC will give attack percent up. For guild battle only, you will have increased debuff resistance. Granted effect, increase maximum HP to a... Oops, sorry, I didn't scroll down far enough. Increase HP as well as AoE attack resistance. And taking a look at the very bottom, for guild battles only, HP up by 3%, critical damage up by 2%. So before we get to the Esper, which we will, this VC feels fine to me. I'm kind of interested in the maxed out just debuff resistance, which seems pretty nice. It is a physical attack VC, so if you're looking to get this, you're basically playing physical teams, you're not looking at magical teams. And yeah, I mean, it is Garoussa's VC and Esper combination that we are looking here, which will undoubtedly make him generally stronger. This will more complete / round out his kit. But even if the VC I could see being kind of nice for some stuff, there is some wind bows that are happening. There's some katanas obviously happening. And the Sword Knight group is getting a fair amount of support this update with this plus the others. So there are some characters out there that would be quite happy to use this VC to make some combinations. Now, last but not least, we'll talk about the Esper. Taking a look here, it's the giant cactar from Final Fantasy VIII. So for anybody who's curious, very clearly a sign that FF8 is going to be the 5th anniversary collaboration. I mean, I'm making that up, but if it does actually happen, you heard it here first. All right. Deals extra large wind damage to targets, removes all buffs, and activates a map effect, increasing attack and magic, the blah 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 for wind-based units, and so on. Now, interestingly, I do think there are some other key things to note here. Removing all buffs is fine, seems to be the only thing that's extra on this, but what's more interesting here to me is the range on this. This is a pretty high range for an Esper, and it is a square-based pattern, so I'm curious whether or not this will be really that good. Sleep tolerance from this Esper feels a little soft, but it has something in mind when they designed this. I don't know, taking a look at this update, the free VC is always fine because it's a free VC. Everyone can get it, max it, no problems there. In terms of the Esper VC, short of Garoussa, I'm not really feeling this Esper too much. It'll probably be a wind-focused Esper and slash as well. Like, that's the way I kind of see it happening. If we were to talk about... Just really quick, I'm trying to pull up an extra resource. Matter of fact, pause. To me, if I was to actually think about how this Esper's trend will probably follow, it'll probably more follow a character, a boss like Shinryu, which is non-CG, where it's essentially designed for a very specific character, increase like magic In this case, increased slash attack as well as wind attack, which means that it's going to be a decent enough Esper for like wind physical units anyway. But if you're really, really wanting this to be like super, super great, I don't know. I feel like there's enough physical based damage Espers, and I doubt this will outperform Odin, you know, before we actually see it. The only other question, because it's a Cactar, are we going to expect an incredibly high speed on this? Will this be the new fastest Esper? I would like to think so, just for an extra point of interest on this, but I feel that it is unlikely. Anyway, so that's what we are looking at for this update. 2 vision cards, 1 free with effort, and the other one being gacha based, but relatively probably pretty minor. It's a pretty quiet week, and just, you know, cutting through to the following week when we will finally get to see what our Halloween unit is this year, if there actually is one. Either way, I'm still enjoying the Final Fantasy Tactics event, and it will be coming soon enough to global. Whoops, there we go. I accidentally got rid of it. So thanks so much for watching, take care, and if there's any other interesting details in the near future, stay tuned for that. But just a friendly reminder that last year, it was October 28th was the big anniversary live stream where we got a lot of details. So potentially keep in mind that by about the end of the month, we should get the next collaboration details, as well as some anniversary details with the next live stream, which should be happening. So thanks so much for watching. Take care. See you later.